Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're stepping into a completely profound paradigm shift in theoretical physics. We're looking at a framework that basically challenges our foundational understanding of mass, energy, and the very architecture of space and time. It's called the Ozo-Mechanical theory. So if you've been looking to understand how the quantum realm intrinsically connects to the vast cosmos, or how we might finally resolve some of the most severe mathematical contradictions in modern physics, well, you're in the right place. We are about to explore a pretty definitive solution.
To really grasp why we even need a new paradigm, we've got to push right to the absolute edge of our current knowledge. Seriously, what actually happens when the established laws of physics just break down at infinity? You know the standard model, when a massive star collapses into a black hole, the math inevitably predicts a singularity, right? A point of infinite density and infinite gravity. But let's take a step back. Does the physical universe actually permit these impossible infinities? Or does the cosmos have a built-in safety valve to prevent these mathematical nightmares from becoming reality? Resolving that exact paradox is what the Ozo-Mechanical theory is all about.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for the heavy scientific concepts we're about to explore. First, we'll rethink the cosmic fabric. Then, we'll introduce Mulham's constant, explore the power of tension, and define the ultimate limit of the universe. Finally, we'll see how this permanently solves singularities and completely unifies the micro and macro worlds.
Part 1. Rethinking the cosmic fabric, from empty void to tensioned web. So, usually in the standard model, coming mostly from general relativity, we think of gravity as just the geometric curvature of spacetime. It's treated like this passive, empty stage where astronomical events happen. And because that geometric curvature can theoretically stretch on forever, well, mathematical singularities are allowed to exist. But the Ozo-Mechanical model completely flips the script. The universe isn't some empty passive void. It's a dynamic, highly tensioned relational fabric. In this view, gravity isn't just geometry anymore. It's a literal gradient in the density of this profound cosmic tension and structural connectivity. And here's the kicker. Because any physical tension must fundamentally have a breaking point, absolute maximum physical limits have to exist. Singularities, therefore, just cannot form.
Let's look at the math behind this in Part 2, Mulham's constant explained, the metric of cosmic tension. Meet Mulham's constant, represented mathematically as G sub m. This is the ultimate metric of structural tension and profound connectivity within our cosmic fabric. While standard Newtonian gravity, big G, governs the macro-scale stuff like planets, stars, and galaxies, Gm governs the extreme localized limits of the quantum world. It represents the immense foundational binding strength holding subatomic reality together. Actually, just think of it as the absolute grip strength of the cosmic web at its most fundamental, microscopic origin.
Now, what's really interesting about this specific value is its sheer, staggering magnitude. Look at that, 1.514 times 10 to the power of 29. Compared to our standard macroscopic gravity, which is notoriously and incredibly weak, Gm is astronomically massive. And this huge discrepancy exists for a reason. Gm dictates the intense structural binding required to literally hold reality together at the microscopic level. I mean, to maintain the integrity of a single proton, the localized tension of the cosmic fabric has to be unbelievably strong. It's this massive, precise value that finally bridges the vast theoretical gap between quantum mechanics and structural spacetime.
Part 3, the power of tension, the dimensional escalation.
The Ozo-Mechanical model reveals a really striking mathematical cascade. Mechanical properties emerge directly from the fabric's fundamental tension as a system accelerates. So, step 1, momentum scales elegantly with velocity cubed. But as we step up the dimensional ladder to step 2, force emerges as velocity to the fourth power, divided by Mulham's constant. And that brings us to step 3, the absolute core focus of this framework, Ozo-Mechanical power. Power, which is the definitive rate of energy transfer, is defined as velocity to the fifth power divided by Gm. And this isn't just some abstract math equation. It represents the maximum functional rate at which the fabric of reality can process tension and physically transfer energy across space.
Let's move to and see how this builds into Part 4, the ultimate limit, the universe's speed limit.
Right here is the definitive equation for the maximum power limit. Pmax equals the speed of light to the fifth power, divided by Mulham's constant. Because absolutely no physical entity, or transfer of information for that matter, can ever exceed the speed of light, c, the cosmic fabric fundamentally has a hard, unbreakable ceiling on how fast it can process tension. This is literally the universe's ultimate processing speed limit. It tells us that no matter how extreme an astrophysical event gets,
The universe simply cannot transfer infinite energy or generate infinite tension. There is a definitive physical brick wall.
Which brings us to part 5, solving singularity's relational saturation.
Under standard mathematics, a stellar black hole relies on the assumption of infinite density and unlimited curvature, and that gives us a singularity, a catastrophic breakdown of physical reality where the math just stops working. But the Ozo-Mechanical model completely resolves this long-standing paradox. Because the cosmic fabric has a strictly defined maximum power limit, spatial curvature is mathematically capped by c to the 4th power divided by gm. As a result, density is forced to hit a finite maximum. So instead of collapsing infinitely into a dimensionless point of nothingness, the core reaches a profound state known as relational saturation. The fabric of spacetime simply cannot fold any tighter. The universe inherently protects itself, meaning those mathematical singularities simply do not exist.
So, the crucial point is right here in part 6, micro and macro unified, the cosmic similarity law.
This entire paradigm leads us to the cosmic similarity law. Historically, physics has been really fractured, treating the super large and the super small with completely different, incompatible rulebooks. But here, atoms and galaxies follow the exact same dimensionless structural laws, only the scale changes. In this unified framework, a tiny proton acts fundamentally as a stabilized micro-black hole, a dense knot of relational saturation anchored perfectly by Mulham's constant. By using just a single elegant universal scaling factor, this theory seamlessly connects the quantum mechanics of a subatomic particle directly to the vast macroscopic cosmology of the entire universe.
And this brilliantly illustrates our final, profound takeaway. Particles and planets are simply different tension states of the exact same cosmic fabric. It presents a beautifully unified, mathematically sound vision of a deeply connected universe, one that is completely free of impossible infinities and broken math. And honestly, it forces us to ask a really compelling question. If mass and gravity are just different expressions of this underlying cosmic tension, what other profound mysteries of the universe are simply waiting for us to observe them through the correct mathematical lens? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning the fundamental fabric of our reality,